So today's lesson is about markdown and markup. There is already a video posted using the percent equation, but this video is going to go through using the percent proportion. And you can use either method that you want or any method that you want as long as you understand your process. Our first problem today is a markdown, and it says, when shopping at Piggly Wiggly, I bought bagels for $2.29. Today in their ad, they are advertising that they are 12% off. What is the new price for my bagels? So just like any problem that we've been doing, we want to figure out the part, the whole, and the percent when we use that proportion or breakdown method. So they were $2.29. That's their original or your whole. So $2.29 and 12%, and it's 12% off. Remember, we've talked about your percent reasoning is going to match the reasoning of your part. So when we solve for the part, we're going to figure out the dollar amount that they get off on the bagels. So let's set up our proportion. Remember, with the proportion, it is part over whole equals percent over 100. So we have x over 229 equals 12 over 100. And when we cross multiply now, we can go ahead and use calculator. So we have 100x equals 229 times 12. And then we just need to solve. So let me get my calculator out. And when I multiply, I end up with 100x equals 2748 divided by 100, and we get x equals 0.2748. But remember, we're talking about money. Money gets two decimal places. So this 4 is not going to make me round up, so I get 27 cents. So my part ends up being 27 cents. But that's 27 cents off because remember, our reasonings match. It says, what is the new price? So we are gonna have to go the next step and do the subtraction. They were $2.29. I am saving 27 cents. Now they are gonna cost $2.02 for the new price. Our next question says, at Best Buy, there's a 48-inch TV that I've been wanting to buy. This month, the TV's on sale for $1,288.98. The website says that this is a 45% off discount. What is the original price? Part, whole, percent. When we think about this, the original price is always the whole. We do not know how much the TV was. What I do know is my TV is $1,288.98. That's how much I paid. But the other piece of information I'm given is it's 45% off. Notice my reasonings don't match. One is paid, one is off. So what I need to do is I need to change 45% off to what percent did I pay. And we've talked about this before. If we have a bar to represent 100%, if I have 45% off that I get rid of, the part remaining is how much I paid. Well, the part remaining would be 55%. So I paid 55% of the original price. Now my reasonings match. Paid and paid. So now I can go ahead and make that proportion. So part over whole equals percent over 100. 1288.98 over I don't know equals 55 over 100. I can go ahead and cross multiply. 1288.98 times 100 equals 55x. 1288.98 equals 55x. When we divide by 55 on both sides, we end up with x equals 2,343.6. But remember, it is money. Money has 2 decimal places, so we add a 0 after it. So how much did the TV cost originally? $2,343.60. We also have problems that talk about markup. Markup is simply increasing the price, unlike markdown where we decrease the price. Same exact process. Gas was $1.98 a gallon at Quick Trip. Today when I put it in my car, it was 3.6% more expensive. What is the new gas price? Part, whole, percent. Remember, the whole is always the original. Originally, it was $1.98. We have 3.6% increase, or 3.6% more. So when I figure out the part, it's the dollars more that it's going to cost. Because remember, these part and percent reasonings have to match. So when I set up this proportion, I have x over $1.98 equals 3.6 over 100. So we go ahead and we cross multiply. 100x equals 3.6 times 1.98. 100x equals 7.128. Divide by 100 on both sides. X equals 0.07128. But we're talking about money. Money is 2 decimal places. The 1 does not make me round up, so it's 0.07 cents. Now, if we think about this, that's how much more it's going to cost. So what is the new price? Because it's a markup, we'll have to add. It was $1.98. Now if I increase it 7 cents, it is going to be $2.05 per gallon. That is the new cost of gas. Lastly, it says last month a painting that I wanted to buy was $14.95. Now it's $34.56. What is the percent markup in price? So part, whole, percent. Whole is the original. Originally, that picture was only $14.95. I do not know my percent, but I do know, and this is the percent mark up. So I need to know how many dollars it went up by. Up and up. Now, if we think about this, $34.56 is not how much it went up by. In order to figure that out, I'm going to have to subtract. How much is it now minus how much was it? And that's going to tell me how many dollars it went up by. When we subtract, we get $19.61. That means the picture went up $19.61. Notice that number was not in our problem. We had to do some math to think about it. But now that we have the up and the up matching for the part and the percent, we can set up that proportion. Part, 1961 up over 1495 is some percent over 100. We can go ahead and cross multiply just like always, so we would get 1961 times 100 equals 1495x. 1961 equals 1495x. Divide by 1495 to get x alone. And x equals 131.17. So that is our percent markup. It was marked up 131.17% in price. And why it's bigger than 100, we might ask, is because if we look at the part and the whole, part versus whole, the part was more than the whole. So we know it has to be more than 100% for sure. And then it's an additional 30% on top of that doubling in price. The most important thing to remember, no matter when you are doing one of these problems, if you're using the proportion, your part and your whole percent have to have the same reasoning when we think about what are the numbers representing. Is it the amount up or marked up? Is it how much we're taking off? Is it how much what? You have to make sure they match.